Calaroga Shark Media.
Oh man, buckle up. I'm going to tell you about the porn star that's mad at Iliza Schlesinger and how in the same story you get Matt Rife and Osama bin Laden. Yeah, hi, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news, but let's ease into it with late night. Stephen Colbert had to cancel his episodes for the week. He has a ruptured appendix. Colbert was on social media and said, "Sorry to say I have to cancel our shows this week." I'm sure you're thinking, turkey overdose, Steve. Gravy boat capsize. Actually, I'm recovering from surgery for a ruptured appendix. Canceled guests include Barbara Streisand, Jennifer Garner, Patrick Stewart, Kelsey Grammer. I assume they'll be rescheduled at some point. Colbert said, "I'm grateful to my doctors for their care and to Evie and the kids for putting up with me. Going forward, all emails to my appendix will be handled by my pancreas." Meanwhile, Newsweek tells us Jimmy Kimmel didn't hold back when he brutally declined Marjorie Taylor Greene's request to be a guest on his show. Greene has a new book. She's looking to promote it. She tweeted, "Hey, Jimmy Kimmel, since most of your show content is your nonstop lies about me, why don't you have me on your show? I'll bring you a copy of my book and we can chat about what needs to happen to, all caps, save America." Kimmel on his show said, "I guess I'm a Hollywood libtard that's part of the celebrity pedophile Satan Club until she has a book to promote. Then I'd love to swing by. This woman called the police on me for a joke and now she wants to be a guest on the show, though I have to admit, part of me wants to invite her here so I can let her wait for an hour down at the green room doing power squats and then bump her. Even just to screw with Matt Damon, it would be fun, but I also don't want rabies." Kimmel then looked at how Greene's book was doing on the charts and said on Amazon it's ranked number 9,846. It's ranked number 65 in the women's biography category, which puts it 50 places behind a book written by Kanye's ex-girlfriend, 51 places behind Michelle Obama's book from 2018, 54 places behind Michelle Obama's other book, and 60 places behind Paris Hilton's Paris the Memoir. Marjorie Taylor Greene's book is such a bomb, I might have to report it to the Capitol Police. On November 16th, Jimmy revealed he'd received a letter from Trump Media and Technology Group. That's the organization that runs Trump's social media site. It requested that Jimmy Kimmel retract a statement he had made. Apparently, Jimmy had suggested that Truth Social had lost $73 million since its launch. However, Jimmy and his team went back and checked their filing with the SEC, and it turned out Truth Social had lost $31.6 million. Kimmel told viewers several credible sources were reporting Truth Social had lost that other amount, which eventually turned out to be incorrect. Jimmy said, "In other words, and in fairness, Truth Social isn't a colossal failure. It's only an abysmal failure. And I'd like to do the right thing and congratulate our balloon animal former president and his company on only losing $31.6 million. For you, that's pretty good. That's one of your best performances yet." Listeners to this podcast can send their letters to Jimmy Kimmel. Tiffany Haddish said about her DUI, "This will never happen again." She told Entertainment Tonight, "I'm going to get some help so I can learn balance and boundaries." Porn star Mia Khalifa has lashed out at Iliza Schlesinger. On Monday on Instagram, Iliza criticized people who had been targeting her with messages over speaking out against anti-Semitism. In a lengthy post, Iliza Schlesinger wrote, "This neoliberal wet dream that's supporting Hamas or using the word genocide when it comes to Israel from thousands of miles away with no context makes you look informed or ahead of some social curve is an actual nightmare for those of us who can't just set this down when the high of being a social media crusader wears off." In another section, Iliza said, "What? Living in a free country is only good when you want to safely spout coded Jewish hatred, but your agency's freedom to not support you back is where you feel you've been violated? Tell that to the innocent Jews being assaulted across the globe. What about their freedom? Guess it doesn't count. Freedom works both ways. You're free to have an opinion, and people are free not to support you. F around and find out." That post caught the attention of Mia Khalifa, the former adult film star. Last month, Khalifa lost some business contracts after a Twitter post about Palestinian, quote, freedom fighters, unquote. On Twitter, Khalifa took a screenshot of Schlesinger's Instagram post and tagged it with, "I do not support all women. Some of you B-words are very dumb." Then there's Matt Rife. Matt was on the Canceled with Tana Mongo podcast, and I think it's best if I just let Matt speak for himself. Here are the words of Matt Rife. Now, before I play them, I don't think this clip was edited. I pulled the audio from a video clip, and I don't think the audio has been manipulated. I saw several sources, and they all had the same audio, but I do want to allow for the possibility that the audio has been manipulated. I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but just when you hear the clip, I don't want to just throw a water balloon in Matt Rife's direction and run away. So I want to be fair, but I don't think the audio was manipulated. That said, I'm going to do a couple edits here. I won't alter the context of what Matt is saying. I'm just trimming it down for flow so that I don't play a 1.5-minute clip here. Here are the words of Matt Rife.
Who do you hate? Come on.
That's the thing. I don't really hate anybody. Here's a very humbling experience that I guess epiphany that I've had recently. Because so many people hate me for really no reason. And it really made me realize that like people only hate somebody they're jealous of. And I've been guilty of hating people. And when I really sat back and thought about it, it was because I was jealous of where that person was in their life. I felt like maybe they got an opportunity that I should have gotten. So now that I'm doing so much better for myself, I don't have that energy towards anybody. I really don't. Like I'm happy and very lucky to be where I'm at right now. So I don't have like a beef with anybody. If I was going to fight somebody, it might be like, I don't know, it might be like Will Smith or something. He seemed to have a good right hook.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And he hates,
I mean,
he hates jokes.
No, I love Will Smith, but I'm like, hey, if A, he's in great shape, it's a great competition, and B, he hit Chris Rock, so as part of the comedy community, I feel like that's not a bad
that's your
offense.
guy.
That was a really, really good, well-rounded answer. I'm trying to wrap my head around. Do you think people who hate Osama bin Laden are jealous of him?
Yeah, of course. Of course. They're mad that he wasn't the one calling the shots. Of course. Everyone wants to be the one with the remote. Yeah, that's tough.
The Messenger caught up with Gabriel Iglesias. He's 47 and says at this point in his life, I'm just trying to live long enough to spend the money. That's my motivation. It's going very well. He jokes he used to have hair, hope, and happiness, and, now we're here. Gabe used to weigh 437 pounds in 2013. He was told he only had 2 years to live. He's dropped over 100 pounds in the years since. So I met Gabe when we launched Comedy Central Radio, and the press release for that, I just looked it up, went out on May 15th, 2013. So I met Gabe in 2013. Not the skinniest fellow I ever met, but I wouldn't have guessed 437 pounds around then. Cool guy. Exactly who you think he is. On his health, Gabe says, I'm very good about seeing doctors regularly, and I think that's the biggest thing because before that wasn't the case, and now I'm scheduling things. I'm keeping my appointments, I'm taking my medication, so I'm very, very involved. Before, I was just letting this train run crazy. Heather McMahon responded to some criticism. She said, this guy was like, man, you really go in on married life and your husband. Heather said, guys have been doing this forever. Just because I'm a woman, it seems a little jarring. Ali Wong talked about her family. Amy Schumer talks about her family. All these other fabulous people talk about their families. When the girls do it, people have to say something about it. How long have men been talking about how crazy their wives are and how their kids are driving them nuts? Desi Lydic talked about the Daily Show being off during the strike and, did she miss doing specific news stories? An example she thought of were the Trump indictments. And she said, you think now would be a good time to be on the air and unpack this and talk about the ridiculousness of all this. You have good news days and bad news days, and that was a damn good news day. But for me, the story that I most desperately wanted to be on the air for was when a flight passenger had a horrible number 2 incident all over the airplane. I believe they described it as, quotes, all throughout the airplane. I just went like, come on, of all days, that would be such a great day. What an easy story. We know our audience, okay? So not indictments, not women's reproductive rights. No, it was the day the gentleman had an epic accident on a Delta flight that I thought, the people need to know this. As for guest hosting The Daily Show, she got a shot last week. After Trevor left and there was an opportunity for some of us to get to sit in and try it on for size, I, of course, raised my hand and went, put me in, coach. Those opportunities don't always come along, sometimes never, and certainly rarely. So, of course, I wanted to jump in and give it a try, see what it was like, if they'd ever let me. It's a scary thing because I'd never done it before. I didn't know. Could I do it? How would it go? Would I enjoy it? I knew that walking into it, out of all the sport in the world from the team, we have the most incredible team of writers and producers and colleagues that I've worked with for 8 years. It's a machine. They're very, very good at what they do. I loved every step of the process. I loved the morning meeting and sitting in a room with some of the funniest people in the business and the smartest people in the industry and cracking jokes, and then the rehearsal process and the rewrite. It all moves so quickly. They're a well-oiled machine there, but every step of the process was so much fun. So, quote, evil Bill Engvall was at the National Donuts chain again at his corner drinking his coffee. But real Bill Engvall caught up with Fox News and discussed why he moved out of California, moved to Utah. Bill said, we were in California for 30 years. We had a good time. We had a great time. I always said, if you can't find something to do in California, you're not looking. There was nothing in California that we ever went, oh my God, we got to get out of here. I still have a fondness for California. And like I said, if work comes, it's probably going to come out of LA. I still go back and do TV shows, talk shows, stuff like that. I had accomplished everything I wanted to do in the business. And then also economically, the taxes were just becoming insane. And so it was a combination of a lot of things, but I don't hate California. I felt more at home, if that makes sense. I'm from Texas and I love Texas, but I don't know if I could ever move back there. It's got its pluses and minuses, just like every state does, but I never saw Utah on our radar at all, But again, it was probably my narrow-mindedness of judging what it was like, and then I got to realize, oh, this is nothing like what I thought. In his upcoming special, Here Is Your Sign, It's Finally Time, My Last Show, Bill Engvall does make some sort of joke at California and says, I probably could have left that one out. Wasn't really necessary, but it was a joke. Not sure what the joke is, but Bill Engvall's special is out December 5th. The founder of Students for Trump is Ryan, and Ryan asked Roseanne a question. Who do you think President Trump should choose as his VP pick? Roseanne said, me. And that started a little social media flurry. One Twitter user wrote, "Love Roseanne, but no." Another said, "No, I like her as a comedian, but not a VP pick. A lot of what she says is distasteful. Trump already has a hard time getting the burb women to vote for him. With Barr, they would double down and vote for anyone but." Back in 2011, Roseanne announced she'd be running for president in the third party. She went to the Green Party, but lost that nomination to Jill Stein. She still ran and got 67,000 write-in votes. Wow. Julia Louis Dreyfus told Fox she used AI to write an acceptance speech, but the AI thought Julia Louis Dreyfus was Julia Roberts. JLD was the honoree at the Wall Street Journal magazine 2023 Innovator Awards. Her speech went like this: "As an entertainment innovator, I am very, very busy innovating, so I did what any other innovator worth her salt would do. I turned to ChatGPT-4. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and fellow investors, today is a movement of profound gratitude and reflection for me as I accept the great honor of being recognized as the Investor of the Year by the Wall Street Journal." That got some laughs. "Reflecting on this milestone, I'm reminded of the unwavering support of my family and the unyielding dedication of my team that has been the driving force behind my investment strategies and my performances in Aaron Brockovich, Pretty Women, and Mystic Pizza." And that's your comedy news for today. If you like the show, tell somebody about it. They might like it too. And I'll see you here tomorrow. You can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, Podcast, YouTube, wherever you get shows. See you then.